Welcome back to Desire to Inspire. It's your mama's favorite podcast. And we're bringing back season 1 because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about today.
No, sir. I was telling you before we got on here, I almost canceled on you today because I was not fucking feeling it, brother.
I'm not going to lie, dude. There's been times, actually not this season yet. Today would have been the first one. And it wasn't even that I wanted to cancel. It was that you told me yesterday, like, it'd probably be like 4 or 5. I'm like, ugh.
Traffic.
I'm fighting traffic both ways. I was like, you know what, though? I was like, Saturday's busy as hell. Sunday, I already told Mandy that we're going to set time aside and, like, do some wedding stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't want to plan anything. Turns out she has a bridal show, so it would have been doable. But I'm glad we're doing it. Because last week she called me out. She was like, you said you're doing it on Fridays now, like every Friday. I was like, well, I have to work. It's a rare circumstance.
Yeah.
I just have no choice.
Yep.
But I'm glad we're sticking to the schedule that we put in place because it honestly makes the editing and like getting everything ready a lot easier.
Yeah, it's less stressful, and I guess I'll kind of go into why, because again, like, we get on here, we show face, we're typically like always like really happy to like do these, and it's like sometimes it's stressful, but you and I don't let stress get to us or like things pile on. So I'm just gonna elaborate on why I wanted to cancel today. But before I dive into that, we'll kind of go over from the top. No real set schedule for this show. This one's going to kind of be a free ball. There's nothing from last week.
Free ball is crazy.
There's nothing from last week that was up in the air or that we said we were going to expand on. So there's kind of just like a go with the flow. We don't know what's going to come. We don't know what's going to happen. But stay tuned in because I'm sure there's going to be some sort of nugget that you can take away from this. And it might even be this beginning thing that I say. I don't fucking know because I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. But why I want to elaborate on why my brain was like, I don't want to do this. And it is because despite keeping a positive attitude, sticking with my workout regimen, sticking with my diet, sticking with my work routines, sticking with things throughout travel, it kind of like today was like, fuck, there's a lot. I got all these emails coming in. I got these calls I got to make. I got to do these things. There's stuff I want to do for the weekend that I got to prep for. I still have an hour and a half bike ride that I have to fit in at some fucking point today. I want to eat because I haven't ate today just because I've been go. So I was like, oh, it'd be a lot easier to just cancel and get it over with because then I can focus on everything else. But then I was thinking and I was like, well, if I cancel today, then what is that going to do for me? That's going to snowball it into tomorrow. Guess what? I have a 2-hour ride tomorrow, not an hour and a half. I have a 40-minute swim that I have to do. Okay, if we don't do it tomorrow, then it rolls into Sunday. Guess what? Then that rolls into, well, is it going to have to be when I watch my church service? Is it going to be when I have my hour and 15-minute run? Is it going to be when I'm packing for the week because I leave for Georgia? And I was like, you know what? This is one of those situations where there's never a right time. And like today, it's just about like buckling down, getting it done because guess what? You have the obligation to do it.
Than the time you're in.
Yeah. And so this isn't always easy. This isn't always hard, but it's about finding a path and finding an answer for the things that you prioritize in life to be able to go out, capture, do them, and stick with it. And make sure that you're doing it week over week over week because that's how habits form. That's how patterns form. And that's how, okay, if you do have to veer a little bit, guess what? This is already ingrained so much that it's not bad to like teeter-totter on one side of the line.
This actually kind of rolls into a topic that I forgot that I had.
There we go, baby.
Did you see the TikTok I sent you last night by chance?
I haven't even had time to go on that.
Okay, that actually works out better because I'll probably just end up playing it. And it's MrBeast. And it's a very interesting take. And I don't agree with it. And I don't think you're going to either. Okay. But it kind of goes to like this busy lifestyle. I'm going to just I'm not going to put it on the screen for you guys because it's literally just him talking. But I'm going to play the audio where you can hear it.
Okay.
If my mental health was a priority, I wouldn't be as successful as I am. I mean, that's just like a sad fact. Like, I obviously never would have buried myself alive for 7 days in solitary, 7 days on a desert island, 7 days, blah, blah, blah. Being able to consistently suffer over long periods is like arguably one of the deepest modes. Like, there's a reason no one makes videos like me. Like, not even close, because no one wants to live the life I live. I think there was 1 year where I was flying like 200 days. Like, I was on a plane. I mean, it was a fuck fest, but you know, to get these videos done. When I wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna be pretty fucking tired and feel like shit, something I always tell myself is how you feel right now is why no one else does what you want to do or does what you do. And if you push through this, that's just even, you know, more of a reason why no one will ever be who you are. And so
he goes on for like another minute or so.
Wait, leave that up. Play that beginning part one more time, just like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the most important part that's why I sent it to you.
if my mental health was a priority, I wouldn't be as successful as I am. I mean, and that's just like a sad fact.
Okay.
Obviously, never would have.
If my mental health was a priority, then I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
I would say that completely contradicts
Everything that we stand for.
everything that we stand for, but also in life. Because if your mental health isn't there, dude, that shit will get you so fucking low that you don't want to be here anymore, and you will do anything to get off of this earth. So if you don't have your mental health intact, how can you then do the late nights? How can you then do the 200 flights? I would say I would say he said that and listened back to it at some point and was like, that actually doesn't make sense, because it would make sense if he talks about this lifestyle isn't for everybody. My grind, determination, and the things I do physically are what other people won't. And that's the late nights, the 200 flights, all that stuff. But if your mental health's not there, like, you can't focus on anything, bro.
He goes on more to talk about, like, how if he was more normal, we'll call it, that he would have once. He's like, because nobody else, once they make a couple $1 million, he continues to do what I do. And I would like to hear the full conversation. It's definitely on a podcast that I think you listen to at least semi-regularly. I can't remember the name of it right now. But you had talked about that person on here, and that's how I found this podcast. Okay. But that clip just kind of popped up, and I just know it's from that. But I feel like I would like to hear more in depth, because I feel like he probably talks about this at length, more than just a 2-minute video or whatever that is. But I feel like there probably is a time where he was really low and really dark, and all he knew was grind through it. And even though he had all that money and all that shit, I feel like he was just, he said, like, to suffer through it. So I feel like at one point it was just him working for no other reason than to work for these achievements, for these accolades that he thinks is going to bring him something more. Because at some point he's the most decorated YouTuber ever. Like, no one has more subscribers than him. No one has more money than him. And he gives away and does all these things for other people. But then to what detriment?
I'm thinking about this more as you're talking and as I'm replaying it. And I would almost agree with what he's saying, actually, but I would phrase it differently, because
I don't think he means currently. I think that was in that moment, if my mental health was a priority.
I'm thinking too, just mental health in general, because again, most people get mental health issues, problems, and they can go a few ways. They can resort to, like, the common day prescriptions and get on medications and take that route. They can go to therapy. They can fucking grind out like he's doing, or they can start implementing, like, habits like we preach in your life. So that way you don't get to that mental barrier state where you just want to, like, give up. But I think about it, and my dad, blue collar guy, fucking very old school. He never, and again, I don't know what his thoughts would be to this day, because it wasn't big when he was alive, like mental health or anything like that. But, like, bro, he got up every single day and he went to fucking work. On the days he didn't want to, he went to work. He grinded every single day to make the life and curate the life that we had as a family, that he had. And he didn't stop. On the hard days when he didn't want to get up, he was still out there doing manual labor every single day. And I look at it and I'm like, well, when I was at my lowest fucking point, I was grinding every single day. Going to the gym, going out for walks. When my brain was telling me, like, bro, you sure you want to fucking be here? I was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Put music in. I go and I walk. Mm-hmm. I go and I work out. I start eating healthier, and I'm grinding. I'm going through that fucking tunnel vision of making these habits last and stay. Even if it was, like, at one point, like, say, taking Decker out. Like, we talk about putting the leash on, going outside, putting a coat on. You're getting your mind off of this mental stuff for, like, split seconds. So when he's saying his grind and this and that, I think he just phrased it differently, where I got up in arms and I was like, dude, fuck that. Like, mental health is everything. But mental health is everything, but you can't take the side of it where it's like, oh, I have mental health, so let me baby myself. Let me coddle myself. Mm-hmm. Let me do all these things because I have mental health, and make these excuses. And why me? Poor me. My food fucking sucks that I eat. My family sucks. I suck. My job sucks. My living situation sucks. Like, all these things. And you can take that path, and it's very easy to, because that's how mental health makes you think.
This is why I love this show, because I never would have went down this path of it.
But you have to grind, and you have to put in the work, like he's saying. Because guess what? Those 200 flights might have kept him from going batshit crazy, bro. They might have kept him from not crying. They might have kept him from not fucking stopping. And that was his gym. For me, it was physical. I wasn't going on those flights. Guess what? I was doing the little things like I just said. I was going to the gym. I was going on walks. I was putting my coat on, going out with friends to like get restaurant or whatever. I wasn't eating fast food. That was my 200 flights. That was my videos I was making. Like in his world just looked different because he was making these videos and stuff. And so that stuff was taking it off. And he's like, no, I don't have time to be sad. I don't have time to be upset.
And even though he had seemingly everything, what people would argue is everything, it didn't matter. And he was still in that place. And now, like, as you go down this path, that what you're talking about, because I never would have thought like, oh, mental health is everything, but don't coddle yourself. And because that is a key component that we don't do. And we never speak about that part of it. That we still grind. Like, yes, we put in the work and people see we put in the work, but I never really thought of it that way just because I'm not wired that way at all. My dad was the same way, blue collar guy. Like, I don't know any different. And everybody's all self-care, self-love, this and that. And sure, by all means, but like sometimes, like you're not always going to be able to do the things you love or the things that are beneficial for you. And now, like that we're talking about it in this aspect, that goes directly into the quote that I just shared with you right before we got on this podcast.
Let's hear it.
It says, the real inner work is outer work. Build things, meet people, go for runs, go for lifts, focus on the world outside yourself, use your body, walk, wander, sweat, make art, start companies. Your head will feel better when you use your hands more than your mind.
Dude, that's it.
And literally, when I read that, I literally went to take a piss, read the first thing on my timeline because I can't fucking be without my phone for 2 seconds. And I was like, oh, I think we got a topic after all. And then it sparked that I sent you that clip. And they are literally right in line with each other.
One and the same.
On that path.
So I have to apologize to MrBeast because I now agree with what he was saying. And it's crazy because if I would have heard that in the beginning like I just did and we weren't talking through that, I would have had my stance. Fuck that, dude. You're crazy for saying that. That's not true. It's not healthy. But yes, it is. Because again, like everybody's grind is different. And I think this is what everybody needs to understand is that we look at social media, we look at these things, and we automatically cast this judgment. We cast this image of ourselves of we're not good enough because of look at this that this person has, or look what they're doing, or look what they're building, or look what they're going after, and look at me. I have this, and I don't have that, and I don't have that, and I don't have it. Why don't I have this stuff? And when you look at that analogy that MrBeast said, and like the way that he stated it, it's that you can take two paths. You can go down the path of what mine was, working out, eating healthy, getting fresh air, or MrBeast, videos, flights, all this stuff, and just grind through it and push through it because, again, it's building, it's growing. When I say push through it, it's not forget about what's going on up here. But if you take the other path of being like, well, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm just going to eat junk food because I don't feel like cooking, and I'm going to drink pop because I don't feel like drinking or eating good things, and I'm not going to go out and get fresh sunlight because, like, why me? Like, life is so hard and I just don't get why it's against me. My genetics are against me. All these things are against me. And you take this path, where's this going to take you? Fucking further and further down. Then it's like, well, I might as well get on medication because the doctor says that I need it. And no, I can't go to this concert because, like, I will have this. No, you got to fucking put your head down and you got to keep going after those things and realize I'm not saying that mental health isn't important. I'm not saying to not give it attention. But what I am saying is don't take this route. Take the route that's hard. Take the route that challenges you.
Doing the hard things is what betters your mental health. It gives you the confidence. It gives you the actual skills. It gives you all of these things that you need.
Yep. We talk about it all the time. It's building the foundation. Those things that he did, it didn't start off with 200 flights. It didn't start off with tens of $1,000s in a video. Mm-hmm. It didn't. It started with the base thing. He has another clip, and it's like your first 100 videos will never see the light of day. They'll never get traction. You have to push through it, and then you'll see. What he meant by that is you have to build the fucking foundation. Once you have the foundation built and you have these habits, patterns, and routines in place, then you can build stuff on it. And that's when he started doing the flights. That's when he started.
Consistency is reps.
Consistency. Compound interest, baby. How many times do we have to talk about this? Compound interest is the same thing that we've been preaching week over week, whether it's in your run videos, in this podcast, or in my daily drive-bys. Compound interest is what gets you out of that mental funk. It is what gets you out of that stagnant mindset. It is what changes your life for the better and opens up doors and windows that you didn't even know existed in this structure that you're living in. And then you can see through, and then you can be like, well, fuck, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. Okay, let me go here. And it's starting with the little fucking things and building on that, dude. And it just solidifies more and more that what we talk and what we preach about is not bullshit. It may not be backed by science, but it's pretty scientific.
Somewhere out there, it has to be backed by science. Like, there has to be studies to show this shit.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones preaching this. We're not some fucking geniuses who've come up with this brand new idea that the world has never seen before.
I like to think we are.
This has been preached for generations of people.
Yep.
Whether it's actually been verbally preached or just through people's actions, anybody that you look up to has done this thing. They've been consistent. They've done hard shit, and they came out on top.
Interrupting the pod for sponsor time. First Form, you guys hear Dylan and I talk about it all the time. They have you covered from A to Z, no matter what supplements you need. Whether it's proteins or fueling for an endurance race, First Form has you covered. Their mission is to help one person a day. We love that here at DTI because our mission is to help people live a healthier, happier lifestyle. And we believe that using First Form supplements can enhance what your goals are. So whether it's a supplement that First Form has or you want to rock their merch, visit the link in our bio, www.firstform.com/DTI to get yours today. Back to the pod. And like you look at our dads that we like brought up, for example, like blue collar guys, old school mentality, the way they grew up. Dog, they got up on those hard fucking mornings where they didn't want to. Your dad going to the fucking plant at 3, 4 a.m. My dad getting up, getting the course and everything
He worked
ready.
night shifts when we were kids.
Which is crazy because he had to take care of you fucks the entire morning.
He literally would work
afternoon.
night shift and then come into my kindergarten class all day.
Dude, we underestimate and we do not, everybody does not give our parents enough credit. Instead of praising our parents for making those decisions, doing those things, my dad, my mom, I could go on and on, just like you could, about all of the things now because we're older, we're more mature on what they did for us to be able to provide the lifestyle that we have and not show us those like 2 hard times to figure out a way to get past them. But bro, they fucking kept grinding. They kept doing it and showing up day in and day out to make sure that things didn't switch up, to make sure that things didn't fall up. And so their grind, their determination helped them, I would imagine, stay out of their head. And again, they had ups and downs, whatever, but they fucking kept showing up because they had to do it. Back then, there was principle and meaning behind stuff that needed to be done. Yeah. You fucking did it because you had to do it. But then we got into this fucking world where it's like soft and we just, oh, everybody deserves a trophy. Everybody deserves a fucking trophy. Not everybody deserves a fucking trophy, bro.
If my child gets a participation trophy, I'm throwing it in the trash.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let them know you didn't earn that.
My first sales job.
I'll break it in front of the team.
Yes. My first sales job. I want to make sure, did I
get a participation trophy ever?
No, hell no.
Participation is kind of a hard word to say when you're like in a full sentence.
It is. I want to make sure that I hammer home the thought on our parents. I did not. So I was going to go somewhere with that, and I didn't finish my thought. So I want to because I'm still praising our parents for what they did, our friends' parents. So as I was saying, they showed up every single day, day in and day out. Didn't show us the hard times growing up. They made sure that there was a way to make sure that we kept living life, had the dreams, had all these things, no matter what stage the family was in. But we as humans, instead of looking at that, bro, we look at it from the sense, backside. We look at it from the sense of, oh, my parents did this to me, or, oh, my parents gave me this problem that I have, or this thought that I have because I saw this growing up. And we focus on like the negative things instead of the positive fucking things. And it's very easy to get caught up on that because guess what, bro? I could say stuff about my dad, like he shouldn't have drank as much as he did, but why am I going to harp on the bad things instead of the good things that were actually there?
Everyone has bad shit.
Everybody does. Why do we as kids I get why we hold our parents to such high calibers, why do we think that they have to be fucking perfect? And when they weren't perfect, we hold it against them.
I think as children, it's the only, like, it's your source of knowledge for everything. They literally teach you about life. Like, you get most of your knowledge, especially like for the first 6-7 years. So like, you think that they are perfect. You think that everything they do is the way that everyone does everything. This is the way the world operates. And then slowly, like, people start to chip away at that armor. You start to see other people, and you realize, oh shit, like this guy's dad does this. Why does my dad act like this? And so then you start, same thing we do with social media. We start to compare them to other people. Like, oh, well, sure, like they're providing and they're doing this one thing, but like they could be a lot more like this. And so I think like you literally just start to compare them to other people.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, again, they did everything and more that they could do, thinking that it was the right way from the people that they learned from. So why aren't we on our grandparents? Like Gary Vee says all the time, well, if you're mad at your mom and dad for this, guess what? They learned it from your grandparents. So why aren't you getting them?
It all trickles down.
And so that's the thing is like we're all an extension of everyone. So there comes a point where we just have to forgive and forget, like we talked about a few episodes ago, where it's like, hey, maybe this wasn't perfect growing up. Who fucking cares? How do we become better from it? How do we all learn? How do we all grow? How do we all develop?
As great as we think we are,
we're not fucking great.
We're going to fuck up our kids.
Yeah, dude.
The only difference is we have episodes of a podcast they can go back and listen to if they want to actually learn what we think. Because they're not actually going to listen to us. But this shit's about to exist. Like, I wish I could, like, know what was going on in my dad's mind at 25, at 30. Like, have an actual, not, like, obviously he can tell me, oh, this is, but, like, that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, it's like, you ever hear like about your memories? Like your memory is a memory of a memory.
Okay.
Like something can be so vivid in your mind from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But like your mind slowly alters that memory and like glamorizes it or makes it be one certain way. So like you're actually remembering the way that you remembered that memory. And like that's like how nostalgia is born.
Damn.
Like slowly like you just keep going and going. And like so as much as they can tell us the way that things were, it probably wasn't exactly that way. But if you could like sit down and watch a video of your dad and one of his boys talking at 25 years old, that'd be fucking insane, dude.
Dude, I would love that. It's like one of the...
Who would it?
It's like one of the... Well, what's sad is like, I don't know if a lot of people would actually truly care. Like, I feel like when we're at this stage of life or even like 15 to 60, like we don't have deep conversations with our aunts, our uncles, our moms, our dads, in terms of like, what was growing up like? Well, what was it like? Looking back, dude, I could have asked my granddad so many questions about his life. He was 93 years old when he passed away. He almost lived 100 years. Could you imagine what happened 60, 70, 80, 90 years ago?
He'd probably say some off-color shit.
Okay. Well, we love you, granddad. Glad you adopted with the times. But, like, to think what life was like.
Yeah.
Like, if our life changed as much as his life did, because, again.
It's going to.
But to me.
It already is.
To me, it's hard to fathom because we look back at the history books that we learned, and it's like, holy shit, like, I don't, again, know decades and eras or whatever, but, like, there was a point where, like, our friends, we couldn't even have used the same bathroom as them when he was growing up. And so the fact that, like.
Okay, but, like, yes, that is a very. It's different, but it's no different than the way that people being born today are going to view us.
Yeah.
We are the last generation.
Be like, you went to school with a person that says they were a lizard? Whoa.
No, there's going to be much weirder shit then. But, like, we're the last generation to, like, not grow up with technology.
Yeah.
We had technology as we got older, but, like, not to be born with technology. Like, we played outside as children.
Yeah.
I didn't have a phone till high school, damn near.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it wasn't this.
No.
Like,
those were too expensive.
5-year-olds have fucking iPads, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And they're going to look at us like, what did you use? I'm like, a fucking
Game
CD
Boy Color,
player, dude.
Yeah.
I used a CD player.
MP3 player.
And before that, my iPhone had 100 songs on it.
Dial-up internet.
Yeah, like, yes, it seems drastic, but that's because of what we know now. But
that
they're going to view things the same exact way.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But to stay on our parents, I actually don't think, like, to come from any other type of life would put us where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, we needed those humble beginnings. We needed to come from a place that wasn't great.
I wouldn't change my upbringing at all.
Me either. And, like, as obviously everybody would always like to have more money, more things, more time, more anything.
Just greed, baby.
Yeah. But, like, I don't think that we would have the heads that we have and all of this if we didn't come from where we came from.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I was excited that I got I think it was like a 2001 Dodge pickup truck. And, like, when you got your brand new Ford, like, I'm sure you were like, holy shit, like, dude, the way we grew up was phenomenal. And we got to, we truly appreciate the life that we live now and the things that we had growing up and stuff because, again, it was a fucking grind to get that. But, like, our parents made it happen. And then they instilled habits and stuff into us to make sure that we grind to get the lifestyle that we want. And again, we would be doing our parents a disservice if we were like, we want to be just like you. It's like, no, I want to be better than my parents, but that's in the most respectful way. And my mom knows that. And then I want my
kids to be better than me?
Yeah. My mom knows that. And she's like, well, yeah, it would be like a disservice to me if you didn't live above us in many different areas, not in terms of like money or anything like that. But yeah, dude, like, I want to be better than my parents. I want to be better than my aunts and uncles. Like, I want to be better than the people that raised me because that's showing a tribute to them.
It's a generational growth.
Did. Yeah.
It's what they learned, like, they actually passed down.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just say, whatever, figure it out on your own. It's, I went through all this, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Big ups to the way that we were raised, man, and the things that we're going to do and hopefully carry on. And it's really wild to think about because, like, that part of life is not far away where we're going to have to, like,
I know,
be that foundation for somebody.
Kind of scary.
Still a couple of years, but like not much.
Not much at all.
Yeah. Man.
Realistically, in under 2 years, I could have a child.
Little Timmy and Jimmy sitting right there.
I don't think I'd name my kid either one of those things.
I wouldn't either. But yeah, no, that's cool. Shout out Tommy T, man. Shout out all of our parents. I just know Tommy T's listening. I think my mom is too. Shout out to you, Mama. I love you.
You don't think she listens on a regular basis?
I don't know.
My mom has been, I think.
Shout out to you,
I think?
Because I don't care if they listen. I
don't either.
Don't.
But my mom, I think she has been listening.
Dope.
She's brought it up to me a couple times, like, did she listen or did she just catch Dad in the background? Because he puts it on the TV.
I wonder how this week or last week's went with him with the better quality on the main angle.
Hopefully fucking good because it was a lot of work, man. I
still don't love the angles
problem.
And the coloring and all that kind of stuff, but we'll figure it out, man.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's all it is. Everything's a work in progress. That's life. We'll be taking 200 flights a year one day.
That's a lot of flights. I don't know if I want to take 200 flights a year.
I don't think I want to do that.
I don't want to, like...
I fucking take enough as it is already.
Yeah, I don't want what you do. Literally, I don't want what you do. Yeah. I hear about you traveling, and I don't envy you at all. I'm like, dude, I couldn't do it. There's just, like, a certain level that I don't want to get to. I want the success, but I don't want to have to travel that much. It'd be different if I had a private plane.
Yeah, that'd be a lot
But I'm not
different.
trying to go through fucking... with all these poor people.
Fuck poor people.
Oh my God.
Oh, speaking of parents, real quick, dude. Happy fucking birthday, Pops. Today's his birthday, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Happy
How
birthday.
ironic. Yep. It's his birthday. Today, I'm happy we did this episode because this is what it's about, showing up, dude. Again, my mood was just kind of blah. I was thinking about Pops a lot earlier. Obviously, there was something exciting that happened earlier. But there's just a lot on my mind. And I did not want to do this, but it rejuvenated me. I'm happy we did. I think we're getting a great conversation in that people will take a lot away from. And typically when you don't want to do stuff and you stick to it, it's like a workout. Fuck, I don't want to do this workout.
You always feel better after.
Always. And this is how it is today with this podcast. It makes me extremely happy because if I would have postponed this, we would have never been able to have this dialogue or conversation that we're having.
You were actually, which this just kind of brought me back to that point. You were talking about like how we never have these deep conversations with like our family.
Yep.
And when do we actually have those deep conversations on a regular basis outside of like just your significant other? Or even like, because like even my parents, like, unless we're like together, we don't really have deep like I don't have super deep conversations over the phone. It's always like catching up, like how's everything going, like what have you been doing, that type of shit.
That's literally all
but
it is.
The only times I ever really have like deep meaningful conversations are obviously with Mandy. We have a lot of life decisions coming up right here, and then on this podcast. Outside of that, it's not like me and my boys just sit around and talk life. And I say that in like a offhanded kind of way, but like why is it not a more normalized thing? And I understand not wanting to open up to everyone and like be vulnerable like that, but I feel like you'd be much happier if you just put it all out there and got deeper about stuff. Because the way that you went on that MrBeast thing, I never would have went that way. And like, it opens up my mind to a different perspective. And if we talked in a group of 5 people, the way that we are right now, there's more perspective and the more other people open it up, the more like you can go down that path and take it even further.
Yeah. It's probably because majority of the time we fucking hang out with friends or people in general. We're in social settings, so there's like so many other distractions, and then next thing you know, you're fucking rapping Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill, fucking hammering Red Bulls at 2 a.m. in the morning.
What the fuck?
And so, like,
That's a very specific moment in time right there.
we've lived that a couple times.
Oh man.
Well, we're singing karaoke in the back of a fucking Uber, dude. Like, there's not time for deep conversation in those moments.
But what's crazy is like those moments feel more bonding than a deep conversation, but they're not. That's a surface level thing that you can do with a stranger.
I could do it by myself, dude. You should see me in the fucking shower singing Dreams and Nightmares.
We got 2 hours free karaoke at Soul, dude. Whenever you want, we got that whole room to ourselves.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Mandy for winning 2nd place in a wing eating contest.
Big shout outs, Mandy. Hell yeah.
These bitches were hot, dude. I'm talking.
They didn't look good.
They were really good.
Really?
It was like, you like hot
If you
shit?
had that picture, throw it up in here.
You like
Fucking
that? You like
30
hot shit?
minutes in. I love hot shit.
Okay, so these like so the way that it worked is they give you 7 wings,
Okay.
but they weigh them so like if people don't finish, they can see who really ate the most.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
just finishing
Yeah.
because they're all different sizes.
I like that.
You have to eat the first wing in under a minute. He said because as you eat, they get hotter, so they make you eat one in a minute. Then they start a 3-minute timer and you go.
Oh, fuck.
Dude. So we were just
That was the next
barreling through
morning.
these in 3 minutes. Hot. My asshole was on fire, dude. Literally, we texted in the group chat, how's everybody's assholes feeling today? But
Deep conversations.
these things were just going, man. It was like every bite, it just got hotter and hotter.
Damn.
And afterwards, I felt good. Like, they tasted so good. And so, like, in the moment, I'm like, oh, this isn't even that bad. As soon as I was done, I downed a glass of milk, Ramps front, and I probably drank a gallon of water immediately. Did not help.
Jesus.
But, you know, sometimes you got to do the hard things.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. They needed one more person. And we'd already waited for so long because Mandy wanted to do it. And she didn't even like hot shit.
Damn. And she got second? She beat you?
Did you see her crying?
No.
I'll show you that picture off here. Yeah, dude. I was laughing at her and Sarah. I was right in between her and Sarah, and I was crying laughing at them.
How'd Sarah do?
I think me and her each finished. We had like 1 wing left
There we go.
because they stop you after 3 minutes. Well, actually, they stopped after 2 people finished all theirs.
Oh, wow.
Which I was like, what if they had the least amount of weight? Like, did the weight not matter?
I don't know.
It's odd.
It was odd. Dude, it's so wild how, like, things line up because I put a couple quotes in here just in case I wanted to, like, read them and touch on them. One of the quotes is, never be defined by where you come from, which I feel like is spot on to that conversation that we just had.
But we just said we are defined by where we come from.
I think
I know what it
if you
says. It
take
says,
the
like, don't
other
let yourself
approach-
stay in, like, that.
Yeah, like,
Like, don't.
we took the other approach by it, like pulling out all of the good, where some people will like dwell on, oh, I came from here, so X, Y, and Z, or I didn't do.
Yeah, just because you grew up poor, I mean, you got to stay poor.
Yeah.
That type of stuff.
And then the other one was stop waiting for change and start making change, which I think that's something that we do good and we preach all the time.
Making change, baby.
Yeah. But no, man, that was good. What else you got for me? Anything, man?
No, I was just thinking, I'm like, we've been on a pretty good one. I don't want to get the rambling.
Yeah,
and it
me
be
neither.
bad.
So you guys start looking at life through a different lens. Fucking, if you get a camera and you focus it in and it makes it a little bit more clear, start focusing in on your lens, on your picture, on your camera. So that way you can start defining different areas and buckets. Over the course of this season 2 of the Desire to Inspire podcast, we've talked everything from pillars to burning the boats. And I feel like that just really like fucking was a trajectory for this conversation that we had here today, and is kind of like wrapping up all of those things in one to show a common theme, a common focus of not only how like Dylan and I think of things, but also how we approach things, how we get over them, how we get through them, how we view them. So that way it continues to make us better. It's all about building the foundation. And I think that we've done great over the last couple of years of building a strong foundation that will then start to be able to build and grow on like we're doing right now. I mean, we're taking next steps in our life with engagement, with our jobs, with DTI, like these different things that we're doing, which ultimately line up to our pillars and being like, look, we're never fucking going back to where we were. And that's almost what MrBeast was alluding to, is like, keep fucking grinding, because he didn't want to go back to square one or start over at A. And that's neither what we want to do, and that shouldn't be what you want for your life either. But everybody has different paths. Everybody has different trajectories. So just find the one that's meant for you. Live that out. Find your passion. Find your why. And keep tackling life day in and day out. As always, have the desire to inspire. Kiss your mama for us. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I got. It's on.
Peace. It's a little raspy there. Sorry, guys. Optic Nerve was our very first sponsor here at the Desire to Inspire podcast, and it's still one that we are pumped to be partnered up with today. I was linked up with them when I was living in Colorado. They are owned and operated out of Vail, and all of their products get tested in the mountains, so you know that it's built for an active lifestyle. Freddie and I rock these things all the time. They are made with planet-friendly materials, from recycled plastics to natural wood, and every pair comes with a lifetime warranty. So, I mean, what are you really doing? Hit the link in our bio, support DTI, support Optic Nerve, look fly doing it. Whether you're just out enjoying a nice stroll or getting active, Optic Nerve has got your back. So go to opticnerve.com and use code DTI for 20% off your order today. That's opticnerve.com, code DTI.